Red flags, everyone. We must pay attention to these red flags. Leslie, any red flags for you this evening?
Not so far, no.
Okay, good. That's very good. All right, so when I first signed up for online dating myself, I was very, very insecure. I had just gotten out of a 13-year marriage, 15-year relationship, and I had no idea what I was looking for in a man. All I knew was I wanted someone that was going to be nice to me and who had time to spend with me when I wasn't with my daughter. That was about it. That was as far as it went. But one day I was talking to one of my co-workers at the production company where I used to work as a creative marketing executive, and she says to me, "Oh my God, Lichelli, like, if I was doing this horrible online dating thing, you know, I would totally use it as an opportunity to advance my career. Like, if I was single like you know, with nobody in my life, and I wasn't married to like the perfect guy and living the perfect life, that is exactly what I'd do." So I thought, well, you know, maybe she has a point. Like, it has never occurred to me in my entire life that I could use dating to advance my career. You know, when I was, before I got married, I was so insecure that basically the way that I met a guy was he liked me, and if I was lucky, I was attracted to him too, but that didn't necessarily follow, It was just, if he was nice and he liked me, then we would date. I never thought about what does he do for a living, like does he have is he going to make money in the future, do you know what I mean? And I never thought about, well, maybe he could get me a 3-picture deal at a studio, I never thought about that. I met my ex-husband when I was a struggling film student at UCLA, and he was a struggling actor. And we had producers and agents coming in to teach us all the time, and it never occurred to me to use my feminine wiles to try and seduce one of them, But then again, at that time, I didn't know what my feminine wiles were either, so that would have been a bit hard to achieve. So now, this is a new world, right? A digital age, and I'm thinking about it, like, well, maybe she's right. Maybe I can do this. I mean, what's so hard about just vetting what the guy does when I agree to go on a date with him, right? So at the moment, I decide that this is what I'm going to do. I match with a producer on OkCupid, and it's like a sign. I'm doing the right thing, And what's exciting about him is that he actually put his real name in his profile. So I was actually able to Google him and discover that he actually really was a producer, He'd made like about 20 movies, and they were all these slightly schlocky B-movies, but he was quite prolific, and I'd only made one independent film, low-budget movie, so to me that was impressive. And so we start texting, and even though he's not my physical type, we start texting, and I discover that he's really funny, so he immediately goes from a 5 to like a 6, because of the humour is big, But I talked to my co-worker about that part, and she says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I have a higher goal, right? A career, that's my goal in this relationship. So we agree that we should take the relationship to the next level. And so I schedule a phone call. And I realise that does sound very slow-moving to the millennials in the audience, but I'll explain why. Before that, my dating pattern had been texting to dinner and drinks. And then I had a very unfortunate date with a man that I nicknamed the Nigerian octopus, who was like this all night. So then I decided, because I'm not a black belt in Taekwondo, that I need to add, like a phone call vetting, step in between there. So I scheduled time to talk to the producer, who I'll call Vinny, for the purpose of the story, excuse me. It will be a movie one day, anyone? Anyway. So we schedule this call, and I just want to set the scene here. It's a very romantic setting, because I have my cup of tea, and I have my receipts that I'm going to be itemizing during the course of the call, just in case it's a dud, because I'm a single parent, so you have to really maximize the time you have, So I'm very happy to discover that he's as funny over the phone as he is in his texts, you know, so it starts going great. Like, I find out he's from New Jersey originally, he spent a lot of time in the Caribbean, he'd been to Trinidad where I was born, and for Carnival, which is like my favourite thing in the whole world, to dress up in feathers and dance through the streets to soca music, you know. And, you know, and so he liked the fact that I spoke a little bit of Italian, so we hit it off, you know. So everything seemed great, and I was actually looking forward to the idea of meeting him in person. I did notice that he was a little bit congested at the beginning of the call. But I don't think anything of it, because it's like the end of the winter, and I just recovered from a cold myself, so I thought that's what it is, you know. But then I start hearing these strange noises. First, there is this ticking sound, like. Then I hear this, and then I hear a loud, like this, right? And I'm like, this man did not just do a line of blow while he's talking to me, did he? But then I know he did, because suddenly he switches and starts talking like 100 miles an hour, and his mild New Jersey accent starts coming out so thick, it's like I'm stuck in an episode of the Jersey Shore, you know? And he's like, so Lichelli, tell me about your fucking exotic, beautiful self, huh? I saw in your profile you got a kid, though. What you got? You got a boy? You got a girl? What you fucking got? Now, I put that I have a child in my profile because, you know, I don't want, you know, to begin a conversation with a guy that's like allergic to mums or children. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to. But I also don't put what the sex of my child or the age, because I don't want to, you know, attract child molesters. So now Vinny's asking me these questions about my daughter, and I really don't want to answer that question, not because I immediately jumped he's a pedophile or anything, but if he's a cokehead, he's not going to be good enough for my kid. And I have very low self-esteem, but my mum esteem is very high, okay? So, but I'm also British, and I don't want to be rude, so, you know, I reluctantly answer, I have a daughter. He's like, oh, fucking beautiful, I bet she's fucking beautiful, so how old's your fucking daughter? I'm like, she's 8. He's like, 8? Fucking 8's a fucking good age, you know, I like it when they're 8. 8's fucking beautiful, you know, 8's good. But 7? Fuck me! When my daughter turned 7, she started robbing me. She started stealing from my wallet and lying to me. Fucking A. 7's a fucking terrible age. So I'm like, well, first of all, when I Googled him, it didn't say anything about him having children, and he certainly didn't put that in his profile. So I'm like, how many children do you have? And he's like, I got fucking 6, you know, I got 2 daughters and 4 sons. And I'm like, how many? You know, 2 daughters and 4 sons. I fucking love kids. Like this, right? And I'm like, okay. And then as a joke, I'm like, what, from 6 different women? Like that. And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, holy shit! I mean, how much child support do you pay? And he's like, $150,000 a year. Like this, and I'm like, oh my god! And he goes, yeah, well, you know, when I was broke, it was fucking hard, you know. But now I'm making money. A lot of fucking money. But when I was broke, I said to my boys, I said, you know what I'm gonna do when I make my first fucking money? I'm gonna buy myself a diamond Rolex. Flash it around like a fucking rapper, you know. So now my boys are making fun of me, you know. I'm like, oh really? A diamond Rolex? He's like, yeah. And he goes, you know what else? I told him, when I make my fucking money, I'm gonna buy myself a red Ferrari. Ride up and down the street like a fucking Persian, keeping everybody awake. So now I'm making my money. Guess what I'm doing? I'm riding around in my red Ferrari and my boys are making fun of me, you know? And I'm like, really? A red Ferrari? He's like, yeah. And so I think about it and I've had enough, so I'm like, well, it must be one hell of a gas guzzler. And that's met by a little bit of silence, and he goes, yeah, but I drive a Prius too. So after that, Vinny decides that, you know, we should get together for dinner so we can meet face to fucking face, you know. And I thank him, you know, for the offer, and graciously decline because I tell him, well, I don't think we have that much in common because I don't party and I'm trying to spend time with my daughter, you know, to help her adjust from the divorce. And, you know, in credit to Vinny, he didn't try to pressure me at that point, you know, he just said, well, you know, that's too fucking bad, you know, because we could have had a beautiful future together. Me making fucking movies, you marketing my fucking movies as my president of marketing. And I was like, president of marketing? And he said, yeah. And I didn't think about it for a minute, you know, because I could really use the money, you know, after my divorce. But then I thought, you know, I think I'll just go back to finding a genuinely nice guy and not really worry about what he does for a living. So thank you.